This is the video review of Transformers Deluxe Class Quake and CHASAM. As you can see here, he is in his very nice H-Tank mode, which isn't 100% accurate to the G1, but I'm willing to let it slide because this is just a fantastic figure. Everything about it is great when you compare it to the original, which I'll bring in here for a second. Let's take a quick look. We'll compare them a little bit better in a moment. And there you go. So Quake here, he's a direct repaint of Hardhead from the first wave of Titan's Return, but but the only difference is he has a new head sculpt on the back of the Titan Master. So let's take a look at the Titan Master really quickly. There is CHASAM. The only thing different about this figure is that little head back there. We're going to take him out and leave him off for the side. That just stores in the canopy right there. So he comes with the same exact gun, the large cannon. Both can just stack on top of each other. That has pretty free range of movement in both modes. You're just limited to basically whatever blocks it once you unhinge it and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty nimble. So now we're going to get into a few comparisons. I'm going to zoom out the camera here. And we're going to take a look at some of the figures I brought along with it. So here he is next to his G1 counterpart. The main thing to notice about this is overall he's a slightly lighter purple color on the G1 version. This guy's a little bit darker probably because a lot of it's painted and this guy's just molded. If you look at where this is more molded, it's a lot closer. So right here, that's molded and this is also molded. They're a lot closer. Actually, no, excuse me. That looks like it's painted, actually. No, that's molded. The molded colors of the plastic look a lot closer than the painted plastics. But it's, overall, even though they're slightly different shades, they look pretty good next to each other. Here's a little comparison of how they look at lengthwise. Here's a side view of both of them. The other thing that does upset me a little bit is the inclusion of Target Masters and with this guy. I guess, yeah, they already have the gimmick from the Headmaster / Titan Master, but I think they could have gone a step further and maybe painted part of this cannon purple or maybe painted one of the gun purple and that black, or just done something to homage the fact that he was originally a double target master, I should say. Other than that, you have these really nice stickers on the original, which they're really well represented here. I just wish that these would ended up in a different place in robot mode, which I'll show you later. But other than that, the color mapping on this is pretty precise, and there's not much I can do but to complain about this. The next comparison I want to make with this figure is going to be to the original mold. Take note that I have the repro label set on this figure, on the figure right here, and slightly different details because of it. As you can see, almost every single part on this figure has changed color. It's one of the more extensive repaints we've seen. They've even added some more paint where this figure never had paint, which is great to see. It's not as simple of a repaint as it could have been, which it could have just been taking the same color mapping and just transferring over, but no, they moved the color mapping around, so it's going to be very similar to G1 when you see it in robot mode. Underside, very basic. You actually have some more paint detail that we'll see in robot mode, but it went from translucent orange to translucent blue. Overall, I think it's a fantastic use of the mold and a great repaint. Next up, we're going to take a look at the transformation. So you're going to start by removing the weapons. I've already removed the gun, and I think I'm also going to remove this for transformation, as I use it for a different aesthetic than the hardhead mold uses it for. The hinge here can hold the gun on during transformation and perfectly move out of the way, but I'm just going to keep it off. So, to start the transformation, you're going to want to start by taking the legs, and they're tabbed in, if you can see that right over here. They're tabbed in to the inner thigh. So you're going to swing those out and clip them into place like that. And then after that, you're going to swing out the foot. Next, you're going to do the same with the other side. Swing out the leg and snap it into place. Don't worry, those snaps seem tight, but they're perfectly fine. Next, we're going to flip up the waist. That is very important, and on the way back, if you don't do that, you're going to not be able to roll the figure on its treads. So next, we're going to take the whole entire front section, well, the entire top of the tank, and we're going to flip it upside down like that. So he's like that. And then you're going to take this back section right here. Flip it down on one hinge, and then right here, you're going to flip it down again. And then that's going to form the backpack. Next, you're just going to want to deal with the arms. You're going to pull out the fists on both sides, just like that. Straighten the arms out, bend them up however you like. And then we're going to go in and take the Titan Master, transform him, and stick him on to the slot. There we go. There you have Quake and his robot mode. Now that we have Quake in robot mode, I'm going to show you what I like to do with the weapons. So I take this longer one, and I usually stick it in his hand. It's a little big, but if you kind of swing it across the front of him, it doesn't look as bad. This one I also like to keep out because being a dual target master, he usually has two. He would have two weapons, but that's how I like to display him. And just looking at him in this mode, it's just gorgeous. I love everything about this color. Almost the color mapping is just perfect to what they need, the G1 has, and I'll show that off in a minute. But continuing talking about him, he just has great paint apps. All that blue paint, it's just spot on. Those arm details are pretty great, as well as just the head. It's the right color. It doesn't need any more detail because that's how the G1 version was. Going to the back here, you can just see his normal backpack that Hard would have, but just no gun on the back, which would normally be placed usually like that on the shoulder. But since this is a completely different character, it requires a little bit different of a design. Okay, moving on, we're going to do some comparisons back to the G1. So comparing Quake to the G1, you can already see, excuse me, flip the feet out. You can already see that this thing is pretty accurate. In fact, it has some like color where this would look great. There's a few like purple bits on the chest that would have looked good. Maybe some of these stickers right here could have been picked out somehow, even if it was up here on the legs, maybe even on the side of the legs. But that's just nitpicking at the point. They got the most important one, which are these gold and purple, gold parts with the Decepticon symbol on them. Now that they're next to each other, we can take a good look at their heads, and they're you can tell that's the same character. And though the paint on the G1's a bit darker, I appreciate the new one because it's a lot more vivid and deeper painted. Well, not deeper, but more standing out. Once again, I could complain about the guns, but it's no use at this point. But now you can see in robot mode why I decided to forego the gun on the back for robot mode. I'm going to cut for a minute, and I'm going to get up close of the two target masters next to the Titan Master. The next thing we're going to compare is Titan's Return Hardhead. So there he is. As you can see, I've left the cannon on here just to show you how different the aesthetic can be just by leaving that cannon off. And throwing in G1 Quake into the picture, it really seems like he is an original mold almost, because it doesn't have a cannon, and this character is just iconic for his cannon. The colors are coming a little bit lighter or a little bit more creamy through the camera for him, but it doesn't matter anyway. Something nice that I don't believe these were painted in on the original. I can't tell anymore because I have the stickers coming up, but they went in and added that detail for us this time around. The gray plastics are obviously a bit different color. You have different color hands, a little bit more coloration in the joints compared to this guy. But overall, they look good together. But it's a great use of the mold, and I'm glad that that cannon's detachable because it just allows for Quake to be even better. So that's it. We're gonna move on to the next comparison now. Here's a look at Titan Master Tip Top along with Titan Master Heater and Headmaster / Titan Master CHASAM. As you can see, for the most part, I don't think they have a basis. The only thing that I can really see is maybe that head's supposed to be the same. But other than that, it's just a direct remold. You can take Duros from Hardhead over here, and you can see that it's the same. It's not even different. In fact, this guy's a little bit painted less, and that's kind of sad. I love the head sculpt a lot better on this, but I wish it was a little bit more painted. But there you go. There's a look at the Titan Masters. Wrapping up now, I think this Quake is almost perfect. I think the vehicle mode would be the only thing that I would 100% need to change. Maybe the fact that he doesn't come with the Target Master. But the inclusion of CHASAM definitely helps that to ease that blow a little bit. I think that what they went for and referencing the G1 is almost perfect. The only thing that can go in maybe a few more details that were picked out in stickers. But other than that, I'll take the G1 in one more time. Take a look. It's pretty much what I want out of the toy. And ever since it was announced, I got excited for it anyways because I just love my Quake. He if you haven't played with one of these, they're a great little fun time. So thanks for watching and have a good night.